Hey everyone, welcome to Katie's Kitchen. I hope you're having a good day and ready to get started cooking. Today's recipe is chocolate covered banana bites. It's real simple, 3 ingredients and a little bit of prep work. So you're going to need 2 bananas, a heaping cup of chocolate chips, and a tablespoon of coconut oil, or you can use vegetable oil. For our chocolate chips, we're using dark chocolate, but you can use sugar-free, milk chocolate, whatever your taste is. So you'll need toothpicks, got toothpicks, a cutting board, a knife, a tablespoon, a measuring cup, and a cookie tray with parchment paper or wax paper. All right. To get started, and a microwave safe bowl. So to get started, we're gonna take our bananas, peel them, get those strings off. All right, so we want to cut our banana into about 1-inch pieces. So this banana yielded us about 8 pieces. Hopefully this one will too. That one, all right. The first thing we want to do after we cut our banana is put those on cookie tray with the paper. So I've got 16 slices here. And take your toothpicks and stick one in each banana. And you don't have to do this, it just makes it a little more simple when you are dipping it in the hot chocolate. Keep your hands out of it, get any kind of burns. Okay, so all of our bananas have a toothpick inserted, and we're going to put this in the freezer for about 30 minutes. They need to harden before we can put them in the chocolate, or it kind of just all falls apart. So 30 minutes in the freezer. So when putting those in the freezer, one thing I found was that the toothpicks were a little bit long. So I was able to just put them on their sides. It'd be fine. You just need to get kind of frozen through. And so while those are freezing, you want to get your chocolate ready. It won't take a whole 30 minutes to get your chocolate ready. Maybe just a couple minutes before you pull them out of the freezer. But just for, we want 1 cup of chocolate chips. Again, I used dark chocolate. It's a lot healthier for you than other kinds of chocolate. I think it's supposed to lower blood pressure and it's got a little bit less sugar and calories than other kinds of chocolate. You still want to watch how much you eat of it though, because it can be just more calories than what you need. But if you want a sweet treat, dark chocolate's a little bit healthier way to go. Measuring out about a cup of dark chocolate. And then I'm using coconut oil. You don't have to use coconut oil. You can use vegetable oil. I just happen to like the taste of coconut oil a little bit more. And I'm using a tablespoon of that. And that just helps the chocolate when it's melting to be a little more liquefied and easier for dipping. So put that in there. And that'll go in the microwave. You want to start your microwave at about 30 seconds on high. Mix it up. It's not going to be completely melted, but after that, every 15 seconds, heat it up. So 30 seconds, stir it, 15 seconds, stir it, 15, stir until it's completely melted through. So. And then we'll just wait to get that heated up until our bananas are almost finished, about 30 minutes. All right, so I just finished melting the chocolate. I had to put it in for 30 seconds, stir it, 15 seconds stir, 15 seconds stir, 15 seconds stir, and 15 seconds stir. So I did a total of a minute and a half. The reason you do it in increments like that, though, is so that you can make sure not to burn your chocolate. If you just do it all at one time, you may burn your chocolate, and then that's not the flavor you want to go for. So, and I also cleaned off my workspace while I was waiting for the bananas to freeze, and I pulled out a couple of ingredients that I can use to decorate the chocolate covered bananas. This is optional. I just so happen to have some leftover sprinkles and some crushed almonds from another meal that I had made previously. So this is optional. You don't have to do it. My son just requested it. So I'm going to get those bananas out of the freezer. Now, and having a nice clean workspace just kind of helps make it easier when you're dipping, and I like to clean as I go as well. So now we can start dipping. Let's see how this goes. I'm gonna dip that banana in that chocolate. Oh, that's pretty. I'll just let some of the excess run off. There we go. And I'm gonna do that a total of 16 times. Let's add 16 slices. Those toothpicks being a little bit ornery. And at this point, you can pull your toothpicks out. It's probably gonna make it easier. And it goes back into the freezer. Right. And if you want it completely covered, which I think I do, I think it'd be prettier, and just drizzle a little bit on top if it doesn't make it. Right. And you do put these back in the freezer just to make sure your chocolate hardens a little bit. By the looks of it, I think we might have leftover chocolate, which I sometimes store in a little container for another time. And I'm using my spoon to kind of help lift it out if the toothpick is already kind of coming off. Chocolate's already warming up the bananas a little bit. So I noticed on some of my bananas, the ones I first did, they're already starting to harden. So I'm going to go ahead with the ones that are still kind of liquefied. I'm going to go ahead and put some of those sprinkles on them now. And I don't necessarily need them this way, but I have a 13-year-old who just likes things to look fun and pretty. And I'm going to have some without sprinkles, some with sprinkles, and some with the almonds. And if you notice your chocolate is already starting to not be as liquidy, you can go ahead and stick it back in the microwave again for another 30 seconds, or 15 seconds, I'm sorry, and stir. Just depends on how fast you can work. Gotta put some of those almonds on there. All right, and I think I'm gonna put this back into the microwave for 15 seconds. Apparently, I do not work fast enough to get all of these done at one time. So just stir that back up. Should be nice and liquidy again. All right. And if you do choose to put any kind of toppings on there, just do it while it's still a little bit wet. Otherwise, your chocolate has already hardened. I think it's a pretty presentation with the nuts and the sprinkles. You don't have to serve these right away. They do store in the freezer. Just put them in some Tupperware and pull them out as you want them. If you're making them for other people, you can make them ahead of time and then just pull them out whenever they come over and have something pretty to serve. It's being a little ornery. And my last one. My chocolate is starting to harden up a little bit in the bowl. Well, not really harden, but not be as friendly for coating. I'll do another sprinkle on that one. Almonds on there. If you like cherries, try cherries on top. Really just be as creative as you like with that. Throw those toothpicks away, and these are going to go back into the freezer for probably about 30 minutes prior to eating, just to help that chocolate set a little bit more. And we'll check back in about 30 minutes. All right. Just pulling out some Tupperware. I think the best way to keep these to stay nice and neat if you're storing them. Ooh. Is to line it with the wax paper or parchment paper and kind of seal it in for a little more freshness. So when those come out, we might try a couple, but I think I'm going to save them for dessert tonight. We certainly don't need all 16 at one time, and we can have them as snacks throughout the week. All right, so I just pulled the bananas out of the freezer and they appear to be done. After cleaning my workspace up a little bit, I checked back in on them. It was maybe 10 minutes and they were already ready. If they peel right off the parchment paper or the wax paper, they're good to go. And 2 of mine have already been snagged, not by me, but by my teenager. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put these in our container and save for later. But I do think I'm going to leave one out just so I can give my final testament to how they taste. Later. Back in the freezer. Let me try one. It's a perfect sweet treat. And I really like the dark chocolate. So, but try any combination you like. The banana is not real frozen, it's just cold. So you can leave them out a little bit, up for a little bit if you'd like to, but I think it tastes perfect just like this. And I hope you get to try it at home and enjoy.